What is the mark of the beast? And how is Ripple involved? Hey everybody, my name is Jacob. This is Forgotten Voices. Welcome back, where we talk about conspiracy theories, mysterious things, all from a Christian worldview. So, the mark of the beast. What is it? How is it going to be implemented? And how it's connected and tied to Ripple, the cryptocurrency company. First of all, most of us already know, or at least have heard of, the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is a sign that identifies those who worship the beast. The beast is a name for a person who is going to be dominating world events, who is a very powerful, very political figure, and he's going to demand people worship him, and demand control over what they buy and sell. So that tells us that he is going to have the technology available to dictate, to control people and what they buy and who can buy. That's not currently possible with cash. So we do know it has to do with technology, digital currency. And I believe Ripple's kind of involved in this, and digital currency and central bank digital currencies are the main culprit. So we kind of know what that is. Mark of the number is 666. The Bible actually says the number is of the name is 666, which is the number of man. I kind of think of the number of man as 666 because we're carbon based, so it's 6 molecules. Carbon, so 6 atoms, 6 neutrons, protons, and electrons. That was my jumping off point for this conspiracy theory. It is pretty much a conspiracy theory. And that's where I first drew the connection to the Ripple logo. So at first, it kind of looks like an atom, but more specifically, it looks like this view of an atom. So it has it has like 6, right? But from any angle, it looks like 3. So from this angle, it looks like 3. This angle from the bottom, from that side, and from that side. And coincidentally, it's a pyramid. We'll tie to that in a little bit. But let's talk more about Ripple. Geometria, I don't know if you people are into that. It's kind of fun, I guess. It's not really too important, but it is worth mentioning. If you plug in Ripple into here, you get a couple of things on here, like the mark. Yeah, pretty interesting. How is Ripple and CBDCs going to really implement that? How is that going to be possible? Well, CBDCs are literally digital money, and governments love control. That's what they're all about. And specifically, this government has put an expiration on their CBDC, pretty much forcing people to use it. You can't save it. It's going to expire, so might as well use it. So it doesn't take too much to say, hey, if this government can do that, let's do something else. Let's have it so that only certain people who behave, social credit stuff, can buy and sell. I don't think that's too much of a leap. I actually think we already have that technology. If they were allowed to implement it, they would, in a heartbeat. This is kind of what Revelation says. More importantly, here is a call of wisdom. Let the one who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for its number of man, and that number is 666. Kind of already went through that. Explained why it's 666. Now, so going back to Ripple, the payment company, they have 3 original authors. It calls them authors here, but founders. David Schwartz is probably the most famous of these three here, which is kind of suspicious. But David Schwartz is still with the company. He's a programmer. He actually think he worked with the NSA for a little bit. But David Schwartz, interesting guy. He seems like a nice enough guy. Nothing against him. But he actually did go to Antarctica. And this is a tweet that I found from this guy, a character called Chicken Gate on Twitter. Identifies conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are they lied. Pretty cool. All right, let's see what it says. It's so weird that Klaus Schwab, David Schwartz, Christine Lagarde have all gone to Antarctica. And John Kerry. Klaus Schwab is the de facto leader of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, who are spearheading the Great Reset. He is I think he's an evil guy, just straight up evil. Christine Lagarde, she is the head of the European Union Bank, Central Bank, and David Schwartz, he is the XRP guy. And by the way, Antarctica has Omicron, Delta, Lambda, and Coronation Islands. So these are 4 islands that are in Antarctica. Interesting, but I think definitely worth looking into are the people who actually go there. So Antarctica, you can't just go in. Antarctica is like it's guarded. You can't get in. There is a treaty that I believe most nations have signed. So the one thing everybody in the world can agree on, literally every nation can agree on, is that Antarctica is off limits. I don't know what that tells us, but that tells us they all agree on one thing, and it should be worth looking into. So of course they say for scientific research and all this stuff, and you look up, but can you actually go? It says, can a normal civilian get into Antarctica? They say yes, but you need permits. So no, you can't just go. You need a permit. John Kerry, as I mentioned before, actually traveled to Antarctica on election day, the one day of year that he needs to be on his campaign office, taking care of business. This man travels to Antarctica. What for? The official record is to look at global warming stuff. We all know dude's in an election and he's looking at penguins. I think there's more to it. I think there's something in Antarctica or somebody. Recently, Antarctica has been in the news. I think it's already a few years old. But they claim there is a pyramid beneath the Antarctic ice. This is a photo from history. I guess the History Channel, if you ask me. But a perfectly square structure underneath the ice there. Of course, the scientists say, oh, it's all just natural stuff, but I don't know. To me, it looks like a pyramid. I also ran into this guy called Stephen Banoon. So I'll just read what it says. A YouTube commenter thinks fallen angels are alive and are imprisoned below the ice in Antarctica. Believes a massive object deep in the Antarctic ice causing a gravitational disturbance is actually the fallen angels and their offspring imprisoned by God but are still very much alive. He cites passages in the Book of Enoch to bolster his theory. And it reads, "And I went towards the south, and it was burning day and night, where there were 7 mountains of precious stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south." This could describe Antarctica in the summer, which has nearly 24 hours of daylight. Enoch has also described a mountain range of 7 mountains, which Benun believes is the Sentinel Mountain Range. So there you go, Steve Benun, check him out. He's a pretty cool guy. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Just to tie everything together, we have a payment company who essentially makes central banks' digital currencies. Very useful because Ripple is all about cross-border payments. And without cross-border payments, you're going to have different countries stuck within their own loop. So they need something to connect them. Ripple is that. Ripple uses that. And their logo looks like a carbon from this view. Carbon atom kind of goes back to the mark of the beast, which says you can only pay whoever, well, sorry, only certain people can pay, whoever they decide. And that is one of the functions I think that's going to be of CBDCs, which Ripple XRP, David Schwartz is the main guy, or one of the main guys, and him, along with Klaus Schwab, who is WF, Straight Up People Guy, Great Reset, Christine Lagarde, head of the European Central Bank. All these guys go to Antarctica, where they talk, and John Kerry, where they do what? Like, what are they doing? I think they're there to talk to some people. Not people. They're there to talk to somebody. About what? I don't know. Either way, all a big theory. All speculation. But that's what I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you like this stuff, find it interesting, subscribe, leave a like. Okay. Bye.